What is an undeniably evil profession?
Okay, different tact. Most people are talking about individual harm or terrible profession that affect a portion of the population. I'm going to talk about one that undeniably harms every single person in this thread, and literally something that only helps the top less than 1% investment bankers. There is a direct proportional and causal link to how big the banking sector is to the long-term financial health of a country. The link is negative. The best philosophical argument that can be said is that investment banking's utility is to shuffle wealth from one entity to another. It conveniently forgets that at no time in living memory has it been proven to do anything other than concentrate wealth in the top 1%, increase income inequality, and destroy net wealth. Yes, it destroys wealths. For every $1 they accumulate, it destroys roughly 1 to 10% net. But they got my mom and pop shop alone. Yeah, that's not the problem. It's the billions they are shifting in markets that are nickel and dimming your retirement or pension every single day by trades and moves that put billions into their pocket. I repeat, there is no proven economic utility to these shifts. They aren't increasing the productivity of society. They are literally taxing it, with the only goal is to make money for them. The countries that did the best in the last financial downturn are ones that had very tight legal control on banking and safeguarding to prevent both the over-leveraged risk environments and the economic drag of them becoming too big to fail. Final thought, imagine you had a personal accountant. At the end of the year they said, "Oh, sorry, I did some really risk stuff. I've actually lost like 50% of your money and 100% of mine. I'm bankrupt. BTW, I'm still charging my regular rate. And you know what's really funny? This year was actually on track to be my most profitable one yet. I gave myself a raise and I'm charging more next year." And your answer was, "Oh shit, well, you did balance my checking account very well and file my taxes on time. So I'm going to loan you your yearly salary because I need you to balance my checking account. And sure, I'll pay more next year, thanks." That is quite literally what we are doing with our money. You have probably been harmed by this way, more than you have been helped. It's happened every single day of your whole life to everyone, one you know and love.
Loan shark companies, higher-ups in any mega corporation, literally any criminal, anyone who works for a huge oil company, with a say in the company, not the guys who do manual labor and shit. I mean the higher-ups who do nothing but kill the planet and get money. The leader of any country, you are forced to choose between the better of multiple bad options, will inevitably have to do something awful for the greater good, or let something worse happen. You are super lucky, and this isn't even accounting for corruption or tyrants or anything. Karens and misinformists, people who knowingly sit by and let evil people do shit, people who claim they would take a bullet for their country, but not even take a COVID shot for their neighbors, any political extremist, left or right, and I mean super extremist, not just strong advocate. Anyone involved in anti-abortion laws, it should be once the fetal brain starts functioning, not the heart. It's literally just an underdeveloped circulatory system and some other dumb shit at that point. It's not even conscious, it's less than a vegetable. It's not even brain dead, it was never brain alive. Multi-billionaires who don't do shit with their money, then flex that he has that much, or use it to make even more money, instead of helping others and shit. Nobody needs that much money. If you got $1 every second of your life, you would never make $1 billion. Having a net worth of that amount or it being company assets is one thing, but if you personally have over $1 billion to yourself for private use and don't do anything with it, or use it for selfish reasons, that's downright diabolical. Solve world hunger, or give all your employees well-deserved raises, or better working conditions, or some shit, instead of using it to go into space for 5 minutes.
Ye landlord and grocer. I live in New York. I can't walk from the subway to the office without seeing emaciated people staring nowhere with hollow eyes and shivering bones. It's getting cold out, and I'm terrified for them. They're there because they fell into cracks in the system. A system that takes at least 2 things that are necessary to survive, shelter, and food, and restricts access to those things. The reasons don't matter. You made these people completely reliant on the charity of people who get to decide who's the worthier poor and who is not. And for what? To benefit a group of people who produce nothing? You're murdering people slowly by neglect, all for the sake of a resale and a job so easy you can be born into it? What the fuck is wrong with our society that we let this happen? And when are we going to make it stop? You look me in the eye and tell me, withholding food and shelter is not evil, and I'll tell you to take a look in your mirror if you want to see real evil. Update. This has clearly proven to be a challenging concept for many of you, who insist on trying and failing to beat me over the head with, "But Sophia, what about unrelated silly thing?" And then screeching about how I'm apparently insisting that the only moral thing is to have no luxuries and live only in service of those less fortunate than they. And like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? And because at time of edit, 4:30 p.m. EST, December 12th, 2021, this is a conversation I've had to have in the comments. Moshe's bushy ball beard, 6 fucking times, I'm done. If what I said in this answer has you feeling ashamed that you've taken part in the devaluing of non-productive lives, then maybe you should do some self-examination. I am not here to entertain your pointless recriminations. I'm here to point out that your recriminations belie the fact that deep down, you know I'm right, and you don't like what that says about you as a person. I'm not your therapist. And to the folks in the comment, please go talk to your therapist. And I'm not getting paid enough to put up with that. Comments are fucking done.
I think these are lawyers, the classic sophists. Truth or justice doesn't matter for the lawyers, as long as there is money and power. Philosophers, not a profession actually, but people making a profession out of it are highly genius and use rhetorical devices to play around with words. They are continuing what sophists had started. Wisdom, shove it up to your just play around with the words, and that's philosophy for you. Journalists oftentimes twist real facts to make it whatever they want in front of public. They know how to manipulate the mass. Honorable mentions, law enforcement, little bit of politics. You'd see where law actually ends up. Any other agents working for election campaigns, just helping to establish lies.
Corporate and brand marketing, hear me out. This is a profession whose entire point is to wage psychological war on the general population, informing them that their life is shittier unless they buy their specific product. The industry as a whole celebrates when blatant lies are taken as truth, and it makes the company that lies about those things millions. It is directly responsible for the increase in social pressure caused by mass advertising, mass media, influencers, and mass data collection. It is the reason that entire generations have major issues with body image. It is the reason that men feel like they can't discuss shit with people, because that isn't manly. It is the reason that there is such a massive social divide between those with an audience and those without. It is the reason that there is a preference for big tits and an itty-bitty waist. It is the reason that a chunk of shiny rock that is mostly useful for industrial purposes is more valuable than thousands of other things. It is more common then. It is the reason why prescription glasses cost hundreds. It is the reason that a wife-beating, cheating, tax-evading asshole of a rapper is still considered a good guy.
Many of the things listed are either directly illegal or potentially defensible, depending on your position on animal rights or other matters. Sticking to the following criteria. Job is legal in North America. Person is fully aware of the misery the job inflicts on others and does it anyway. For me, that boils it down to the following. Owning and operating a for-profit prison, private military contractor when operating against populace on behalf of corporation. End communication.
Lobbyist. All the competition in our economy is centered around this profession, more than actually providing for consumers. Here's the open secret in a perspective that demonstrates it. Shell, Chevron, Exxon, BP, etc. are not actually oil companies. They are lobbying firms that sell oil to pay their lobbyists to raid the public treasury. AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Bayer, Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson, and etc. are not actually pharmacy companies. They are lobbying firms that sell medicine to pay for their lobbyists to raid the public treasury. Walmart, Costco, Kroger, and Amazon are not supermarket chains or grocery stores. They are lobbying firms that sell groceries to pay their lobbyists to raid the public treasury, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Sonic, Olive Garden, Rally's, Golden Corral, and etc. are not really restaurants. They are lobbying firms that sell cooked meals to pay for their lobbyists to raid the public treasury. Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and etc. are not actually social media companies. They are lobbying firms that get advertisers to pay their lobbyists to raid the public treasury. You can repeat the trend for the biggest names in any other industry. And by stealing our tax money like this, these lobbying firms, plus others like them, gain much more profits than they do by actually interacting with their customers. Lobbyist is only a word for professional scammer. They kill nations not with guns nor bombs, they do it with lies and fraud. That is why lobbyist is the most evil and insidious occupation, and everybody knows it.
Health insurance adjusters. Here's an example that happens thousands of times every day. You go to the doctor's office because of some pain. Abdominal, knee pain, whatever. Doctor is slightly concerned and says we should check for abnormalities and orders an MRI. You show up at the imaging place and are told insurance isn't covering it, and without insurance, it's $900. Could be fucking cancer, some internal damage, but no. Insurance won't cover a simple imaging. A company with $250 billion of revenue just can't afford it, even though you are paying them precisely to do this. Who made this medical decision for you? Your doctor, who went through 4 years of medical education and several more of residency. Who knows your medical history? Nope. This pencil pusher at their fucking desk made it, based on how much you are likely going to cost for their company. So, unless you're decently wealthy or just desperate, you don't get to know what's causing your pain, because an insurance adjuster thinks you should take an aspirin instead and see how that works, because it's cheaper. They are incentivized to not pay for your medical care. Most companies will suffer from making shitty products or providing poor services. But insurance companies will profit from going against your interests, breaking their own rules and hoping you don't call them out or litigate. Car insurance is better, because at least if other drivers are at fault, incentives are aligned and they will fight for you. But to health insurers, your body is always the enemy. It's absolutely insane to me how this is allowed in this day and age.
Haha, funny story. I parked in a tow-away zone for like 5 minutes while I went to quickly post a package at a post shop. The post shop only has 2 parks, but right next door is another parking lot with lots of empty parks, and I thought it would be okay, but no. As soon as I came out of the building, my car was gone. They must have been watching. Later on, I found out they do this deliberately because there are many people who park there for a few minutes while they quickly run into the post shop to run errands. Anyway, it was about a 20-minute walk around to the tow depot, so I started to walk there. Figured they'd extort me for $100 or so to get my car back. When I got there, sure enough, there was my car in the lot, and the office building was one of those prefab square room things. There was no one inside, just an office with a computer that was on. I'm guessing the staff member was on a break or had gone somewhere to use the bathroom or something. Then it started to rain, and I had no shelter, except my car that was sitting there, so I got in the car. I then just decided fuck it, started up my car, and drove off through the already open gate in the lot. I was expecting a call or a letter over the next few weeks or months, but none ever came. I guess they didn't record it.